What an incredible experience the glass bottom boats are.
This is such a unique state park. We found the manatees. Howard was truly the MVP of the tandem kayaks. Whoa. I know, it steered us the wrong way.
Oh, God.
Oh!
Thank you for saying that, Caitlin. I really appreciate you.
We're getting ready to do something that has been on our Florida bucket list for years, going out on the glass bottom boats here at Silver Springs State Park. They have been giving glass bottom boat tours in some capacity since the late 1870s, which is pretty mind-blowing, and I'm so excited to finally get out on the water here.
Silver Springs is unlike any other state park we've encountered here in Florida, and you'll notice its roadside attraction feel as you make your way from the parking lot to the boat launch area. Tourism here dates all the way back to the 1820s, and the popularity of the Silver River and Silver Springs only grew with the rise of steamboats, bringing travelers up the river into the springs. Then in 1870, the first glass-bottom boats came to life. Even though they've evolved a bit since those early days, it's still the main attraction for us tourists even more than 100 years later. In addition to taking a boat tour, Silver Springs State Park offers hiking, camping, paddleboarding, kayaking, tons of wildlife viewing, and even a fascinating museum. You can easily spend an entire weekend exploring the park, which covers more than 4,000 acres. We set up the RV at their on-site campground, which is in a separate area from the main springs, boat tours, and kayak launch. It's about an 8-minute drive, so make sure you take that into account when booking your camping and activities here at Silver Springs. These campsites were massive with water and electric hookups, a picnic table, and a fire pit.
What an incredible experience the glass bottom boats are.
Yeah, so they offer two different ones. There's a 30-minute one and then an extended one, which is 90 minutes. Those tickets sell out very quickly. We got the last two that were available all weekend. So if you can, I would recommend doing the longer one because you're going deeper down the river. You get to see all of the springs that are closer to where you're launching, but then you do get to go further out and you're seeing a lot more wildlife.
Just off the right side, so way back in there, probably the hardest bird to spot. Now, this time of year, we have a special guest that comes up here and pays us a visit, and that is the Manatee. This first spring area we're coming into is 26 feet to the bottom. All that shiny stuff on the bottom is limestone. That's one of the reasons the river got its name, because when the sun shines on it, it reflects, and it gives off this silvery blue appearance.
It's really impressive how strong the current is. The captain was saying that every 38 minutes, the water is completely replenished, meaning that the water when we departed from the dock was not the same water at all from when we returned. And that one spring in particular, the one that's near the dock, provides a vast majority of all of the water that's in the river.
And you can really tell how strong the current is. As we were going out, you're pretty much just coasting and floating, and then he really had to kick the motor on to get back up the river. And we got to see all of the kayakers and the paddle boarders and everything, which we will be doing tomorrow. I'm very excited about. And the wildlife was out in full force today. Sadly, we didn't see any monkeys. There are monkeys here in Silver Springs.
Yeah, there was a funny story about the monkeys. So originally the monkeys were brought in and they were all situated on this one particular island because they were like, this is great. The monkeys will be on this island. The boats will come and they know this is the monkey island and they'll be like, hey, look, there's the monkeys. The only thing they didn't accommodate for was the fact that the monkeys could swim. The monkeys immediately swam off the island and have now populated the forest. And so now surrounding the springs are monkeys, but unfortunately we didn't see any.
This is such a unique state park.
And what an interesting connection too between nature and movies and TV, because for a very long time, this was actually owned by a studio.
And when you go out on the glass bottom boat too, you're seeing a lot of the remnants of props that were used in several movies that are still underwater, like some of the sunken ships and the famous statues. We got to go over the 3 statues and see those. That was really cool.
Once a month, we have a group of volunteer divers come in here. They get to dive and clean off all these guys and clean them out of our boats, and they get to swim, so.
Well, it's a rainy day here at the state park, but luckily there's a perfect rainy day activity right here at the campground.
We're going to a museum.
It's only open on weekends. Today happens to be a Saturday, and that's because Monday through Friday, it's only open to school groups, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna go check out all the exhibits and learn about some of the, environmental history of this area. Well, I just learned something fascinating already. I had never heard of this. So back in 2000, there was a massive drought, and in Noonan's Lake, local residents and high school students started seeing like pieces of wood protruding from the mud, and they called an archaeologist.
Hi, this is state archaeologist Ryan Wheeler. How can I help you?
And they found 101 ancient canoes in that lake. All right, another fascinating display. So this one is talking about a mammoth kill site that was found here in Silver Springs. And it was the first time that projectiles and like weapons were found with the bones, indicating that it was a mammoth kill site. The mammoth had been hunted by humans. There's even a picture of them using the glass bottom boat as like their hub for going down and digging up and doing all the archaeological work underwater. This is a mastodon skull that was found by a scuba diver inside of a sinkhole cave. That is incredible. I can't even imagine like how wild that is to find something like this while you're diving. I am very impressed by the Silver River Museum. That was awesome.
Incredible, honestly. For a $2 museum, you're getting not only the history of the area, the history of the county, prehistoric history as well, and an incredible canoe exhibit.
Yeah, that was awesome just to learn about that. Like, I learned so many different things in there. It is cash only, so make sure you have cash. And if you're here on a weekend, you have to come over. It just gives you a deeper appreciation for this entire area. It was so cool.
We're heading out now to the Florida Cracker Village exhibit, which unfortunately is only open twice a month. I believe it's like the second and the fourth Saturday.
That sounds right. Check the website.
Yes. But if you're here during those times, you can go inside, and they also have people who are wearing period appropriate clothing that matches the exhibits.
Yeah, and then they do all kinds of different demonstrations and reenactments and cool things like that. So we're still going to go walk around. There are plaques where we can learn a little bit about the buildings. But if you happen to be here on one of those special weekends, that's really awesome. I also just spotted, I think that is one of the original glass bottom boats. We should go check that out.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think so. So this boat was donated by a couple named Francis and Catherine Gay to the museum. They salvaged it from the banks of the Okalawa River about 40 years ago. After its heyday giving tours here at Silver Springs, it was actually used as a houseboat by another couple, Ed and Shorty Mason. So they lived on it for a period of time, and it was kept moored near a bridge under Highway 40. Fascinating history of this boat. Really neat to see the boat that we were on, which was from like the 1960s and is still in operation today, is pretty similar to what the original glass bottom boats were like. So they kept the integrity of those early tours. The other great thing to do on a rainy day is go find some delicious food. So we found a place that's only 3 miles outside of the campground called Mojo's. It looks super fun and festive inside, and the food looks awesome.
The interior of Mojo's plays on the owner, Rondo's, love of blues music. We got to sit in the Stairway to Heaven Tower, which is beautifully decorated to honor some of the greatest musicians of our time. The Cuban-inspired dishes were excellent and great bang for your buck. I had the Cuban pork dinner, which was so flavorful and delicious. Howard had 3 huge mahi fish tacos. This local chain is definitely worth a visit.
Well, I'm so glad that we got to do the boat tour yesterday and then get into the water on the kayaks today. Like, doing it in that order, I feel like gave us a better understanding of what we were looking for and where we were going.
And I think the 2 hour was the perfect amount of time, because that allowed us to kind of do a full loop where we went along the paddle trail, and then we finished the loop by going upstream back to the landing area where all the boat docks are, and then returning back. I thought that was perfect because we were able to go past the places we went, but also get to explore some new places too.
Yeah, and it was just really cool to like be able to stick our GoPro in the water and see so much wildlife. We found the manatees. So, did we see 3 or was it just 2?
I think it was 2.
Yeah.
I think the one swam over to meet the other one for a little grass snack.
Yeah, it was so cute. They were just chowing down and having a nice little mid-morning snack, I guess. Saw tons of turtles and fish and so many manatees today, including the tiniest manatee I've ever seen in my life.
It's true.
Oh my
No, that manatee was a week old.
Yeah, it was so teeny tiny, and there were volunteers who were watching out and like making sure everybody kept their distance. But just to see that is just so special and like once in a lifetime to see one that's that little.
Against the mother, you know, you could really see the size difference. It was incredibly small, and what a lucky break that we got to see one that was only a week old.
Yeah. If you have the time while you're here at Silver Springs, I would definitely recommend doing both the glass bottom boat tour and then kayaking, because it does give you a different perspective, and you're just getting, you know, the information from our captain was amazing, and then being able to be in the water and see the wildlife a lot closer was really cool. And Howard was truly the MVP of the tandem kayaks. You don't want me to paddle at all?
Nope.
You're just the wrong way.
Thank you for saying that, Caitlin. I really appreciate you.
My brain just wasn't computing like paddling the correct way. I don't know. I got really nervous when there was a lot of people around, and then we were trying to stay away from a manatee, and it was like there was so much happening, and he's like, just stop. You just film.
Yeah, it was really funny. It was very much so like it was a freak out. You were having a freak out, and
I didn't want to get too close to the manatee.
I know. And I was like, just don't paddle. Just film. It's okay.
I feel like I had my paddling rights revoked the rest of the trip, so you really carried the team, but we're gonna be sore. Like, that's a workout. If you don't...
Oh yeah, my arm, look, just even trying to hold up this tiny camera is really hard right now.
Yeah, if you don't kayak often, you will feel it for days afterwards. But it's still worth it.
Get ready for even more cuteness on our next episode as we head to the manatee capital of the world. We're taking you to Crystal River, Florida to learn all about these beloved sea cows, plus where to find the freshest seafood in town and all the sweetest treats. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon from the Sunshine State.